Then let's do it. Edgeworth again? Didn't you have enough losing last time, Edgeworth? You back for more? Didn't your ego take enough of a beating? You're back for more? Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're looking on edge today, Miles. Well, sure, but we had old What's-His-Face at the beginning. Pain. I know he's a tutorial guy, but still. He did. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Also, Rezi, I think there's other prosecutors. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mosho, but I'm pretty sure Von Karma, both Von Karmas appear in this one. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant... Oh... Darn it! He's not as cool! Edwards actually isn't chief prosecutor yet. Ah, he's baby prosecutor. So one thing I noticed also... This photo was taken at 2. The murder happened 30 minutes later. That's a really long time for being right outside of the murder area. And then the occurrence of the murder. That's a large gap of time. He's just a baby. Mr. Will Powers killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I mean, Wright isn't the only person that he goes up in court against, I imagine. So he's probably still got a pretty good record, even if Wright kicks his ass every time. They're just like, ah, he's good enough. Very well. I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Unfortunately, this judge is a permanent fixture in this series, to my knowledge. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. In the words of the late, great Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I mean, it's true. It's true. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there's a gate. Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. Where is he getting that information? Maybe there were 3 people supposed to be here. But do we know for sure it was only 3 people? Wait a second, didn't Penny say she was here? Wouldn't that mean it was 4, at least? The victim, Jack Hammer. The defendant, Will Powers. Well, he's gumshoe, he ain't perfect. You're right, Riz. He's not. And young woman, the production assistant. Okay, so he's... Wait, the security lady, though. All the production staff were in the employee area until... Let's just talk about production staff. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m. Oh, okay, that's when she gets there. The security lady got to the guard station. Now jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. Production staff came to Studio 1 to perform the rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. Yeah, that's right. We saw her in those little flashbacks. She was there all morning. I guess she just wasn't on duty? But no, he said there was only 3 people there. Doesn't make sense. Either that's a mistake, or he's just wrong. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to the whole thing again? No, I think I've got it. So they did the rehearsal at what 9, I think it was. Then they ate lunch. And I don't know, security lady was there. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. Who knows? Then Hammer went to Studio 1 at 1 o'clock. Supposedly, Steel Samurai passed by the security camera at 2. Murder occurred at 2:30. He was discovered at 5. I think that's what we got. So I don't think I need to hear it. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear? How medieval! This spear was found stuck in the chest of the victim. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is... What did the security lady at the guard station see? So that's going to be the first witness. Let's call this security officer to the stand. Officeress? Officess? Oh, we're starting out strong. Will the witness declare her name? Oh no! Make it stop! Make it go away! Why is she suddenly a clown? I know, Rezi. I just feel like officer is one of those things that needs, like, a feminine variant. That's just me, though. Why? Don't give me that face! She just instantly gets makeup. Like, buttress is a female butt. Exactly. Exactly. My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Where does she get her eyeshadow from and her cheek makeup? Think female officers need a distinction from their male counterparts? Well, I mean, other places do it. There's, oh my gosh. Policewoman, for instance. And suddenly I can't think of any others. Waitress. Actress. Yeah, Rezi, because we're better. Yeah, but You can refer to female variants. Resi. Your name, please. Little bit wants to be special, okay? Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Gran. Yeah. He's not having any of this. Your name, please. Seems Edward has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. When I was young, I was an old bag. Not really. I was children make fun of him just because, believe it, but it's the boy Captain the chest shooter. He called me an old bag. Look, crying guy because. Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. I never know when she's... Thank you. I never know when she's gonna break out into that long tangent, so I have to be on my toes. I was a little unprepared that time. She almost caught me off guard. Perhaps we can get to the testimony? Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, I was. To get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. Alright, let's figure out what happened. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest of the Wait. She arrived at the guard station, so she could have technically been at the studio. What if her testimony was one of those long tangents? I think a lot of people would be very upset with this game, and it would not have done as well as it did. That's just my take. Ford Hammer and the rest had been doing a run through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. So where were you? Were you at the studio, or? Of course, stenographers type at inhuman speeds. They would have caught it. Well, I guess court stenographers would have had a great time playing this game then. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading toward the studio. So obviously we're going to show the photo to confirm that it wasn't necessarily Powers. We can't confirm it. Very well, let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward at the beginning. So up until that time, anyone who wanted to could go into the studio. Well, there wasn't a security guard at the gate, no. The main gate was locked, dearie. You need an employee card key to get in. Right. The card key that I have. But what she's saying is no one who wasn't supposed to be there could get in. Was there anyone at the studios when you arrived at the guard station? Poor old Hammer and the rest. I'm so used to just reading all the text, even though we've read that already. A run-through. They were working out a scene between the Steel Samurai and the evil magistrate. They got the basics figured out by noon, and were to use the afternoon for practice. Rehearsal was supposed to start at 5. Also, I just noticed, this case, it did not show you anything about the incident of the murder. The first case it showed you, and the second case it showed you. But this one it didn't. It's ratcheting up the difficulty. Rehearsal was supposed to start at 5. That's why poor old Hammer went to Studio 1 in the afternoon. So Powers was in his dressing room sleeping when he was supposed to be practicing. Talk about a laid-back hero. There was a run-through in the morning. Why did you only get there after noon? Because A, there were tutorials, and B, Phoenix were the ones who were involved in the first place. Well, yeah, I know that they did it for the sake of making it easier. She's lying. The game's have to just hide the killer after case 1. It's probably a good move, honestly. I think I would have preferred if they hid the killer in the second case. The first one obviously makes sense. What kind of errands? Oh, well, you know. No, I don't. Answer the question. Actually... Okay. So the game didn't make a mistake. I was watching poor Hammer and Powers, observing, you know? Observing? Are you supposed to be at the guard station? Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job. I'm not sure your boss would see it that way. Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs. Always. Never missed one in all my years. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run-through too. Reminds me of one of the Golden Girls. I never saw that show. I know tons of people loved it though, and everyone always made references about it. I just had to sit there and be like, yeah, that show that everybody talks about that I never saw. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty. Not a bad idea. Something tells me you wouldn't be good at it. Just something. Did you see the victim then? Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He'd already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station. Tell us what happened next. So you were watching there the whole time? No breaks? Not even a second? Of course, I'm a professional, you know. Or are you criticizing how I do my job, Whippersnapper? No, it's just after seeing you eating those donuts in the guard station yesterday. He's saying this out loud. I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time. Snipper Whapper? Snipper Whapper? Old windbag is losing it, Nick. Why don't you raise an objection? Snipper Whapper. The witness was on duty through the afternoon the whole time. Very well. What did you see? How did you know that? Oh, I have my ways, that overdressed young detective told me. I fed him some donuts and he talked and talked. If you ask me, that detective isn't cut out for his job. Oh, Edgeworth is not happy. Poor Detective Gumshoe, getting ratted out by a security guard. Oof is right. 2. You're sure? Sure as spit. Why have to be so gross? Well, who was the man? Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something. Now, don't get your skivvies all in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was. This is where we get her. So you saw Mr. Powers. That's what I said. Got wax in your ears, Sonny? Nick, this is your chance. Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon. I'll say it again. It was him. Our secret weapon. Let me get this straight, old bag. Miss Old Bag. I flashed him. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. This photo's so creepy. I think it's also because it's black and white. That's part of it. There's no color. There's a lot of things about this thing that I don't like. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo-Old Tokyo. Miss Old Bag. Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't! Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I know. Edgeworth, it's too early for you to be losing it, man. We just started. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. No one in the court is accusing you of that, Miss, witness. He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Nosy old man. Of course I have proof. Of course. Even Edgeworth is surprised? The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Even Edgeworth. I know, I love it when they both do that. Please make it known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. I don't think she understands what a courtroom does. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. What? That's weird. Wow. Old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then. Alright, what is she gonna say now? I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of those props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his legs, Dee, clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? That's... So it either is Powers, or it's someone that knew about his injury. Which means it would have to be someone who was there during the rehearsal. That's what I'm thinking. So he had sprained his ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. That sounds really morbid, Phoenix. You couldn't just say, like, squeaks? Squeals? Whippersnapper? Oh, she's not even gonna let me. Hey, I haven't said anything yet. I'll have you know I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything I've said is on the straight and narrow. The up and up, youth today, always whining about each other, pointing fingers at this way and that, enough to make an old woman cry. Mr. Wright, please, for all our sakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edgeworth has met his match. Oh, I'm gonna upset her. I'm gonna upset her. If that's what I need to do. I'm pretty sure she's gonna get mad after this one, too. Who was present at the run-through? Well, let's see. There was Powers. He's the Steel Samurai. Then poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate. And me. What about the aide? The assistant? And what exactly were you doing? Observing. Just observing. Yeah, what about the assistant? Oh, she was off moving backdrops around and stuff. But she didn't see the run-through then. Trip and fall? Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. Well, if he injured himself, it makes sense why he didn't do anything but take a nap afterwards. The Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I would not let this woman get near me with her lips. Absolutely not. Yes, thank you, Judge. Thank you. Where was the assistant then? Excuse me is right. No, I don't like granny kisses, Mosho. Do you like granny kisses? Oh, her? She was cleaning the backdrops, I think. You didn't know about Powers. Interesting. Well, then unless she found out another way, she can't be the victim. Mosho, you love granny kisses! Mosho, you wake up every day and you're like, man, I could go for some granny kisses. Aww. Alright, I'll accept that, Mosho. You may continue your testimony. Yeah, he didn't specify which granny, but now we know. It's his granny. He broke a prop? Sure did. His own samurai spear. His samurai spear? The murder weapon? Gotta look at this freaking creepy-ass photo again. Well, hang on a second. It's not broken here. That doesn't make sense. Are we showing the photo again? Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. It strikes me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the court record. The murder weapon, a break in the shaft, has been mended with duct tape. Alright, so if it got fixed, That means technically he could be holding it at the duct tape. So that's not good enough anymore. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Yeah, it makes sense. Thus the nap. They're so sweet. Innocent grandma kisses. Anyway, just something about grandma kisses just hits differently, you know? So what a weird thing to say. I never... Man, I would give a bunch of kids saying, "Give me that sugar! Give me that sugar!" Oh, hi, Razzie! Nothing important. I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot. I think we've heard it. This typical Edgeworth just wanted to close the case after one testimony. Freaking Edgeworth. I didn't remember him being so, I don't know, impatient? Ridiculous? A little bit of both? He just wants to end it the second that it starts. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me. There's actually something the judge has caught on to. It's a miracle. Which is... Oh, that is a good question. We didn't see that anywhere. Yeah. It would have to be stowed somewhere. Stashed somewhere. Actually, well, we couldn't find it. That's an issue. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. Oh, Edgeworth. Edgeworth! You're triggering me, man. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it's clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. It is not! At what point would you ever pick the second one? Technically, what we've seen so far, Old Bag could have technically committed this murder. There's nothing that we've heard so far that excuses her from being a suspect. She had the means to do it, and the means to cover it up. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Little finger waggle. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. Excuse you, Steel Samurai. We've already cleared this up. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. How do you know that? We already asked her this. Didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective, and then, after some rubbish about it being a secret pal, he told me everything. Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officers' fondness for donuts. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite, son. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all. Nobody suspicious looking. Right. No one else went there. Didn't Penny say that... I don't know, I might be misremembering. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean before 1? Why, everyone was in the employee area before that. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention... Are you sure? Objection! The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness. That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy. Edgy boy? Oh, he's not fond of that either. Clearly. Old Windbag sure has balls, or, well, you know what I mean. Maya. Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details, after all. Or for that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something to look forward to, perhaps? Alright. Let's review what we know. The only thing I can think of is that this says photo 2. That's the only thing. Yeah, that's gotta be it. That's it. I bet she stepped away for a second. And then that photo 1 was taken. And that's why she doesn't know about it. Either that or she's lying. Objection! Yes! Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture. Look at this photograph. Oh my gosh, don't put me on a tangent for Nickelback. Don't put me on a tangent for Nickelback. I love Nickelback. I don't care what anybody says. I can rant about why things happen the way they did and how much of a tragedy it is. I can't get started on that. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway... It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Well, Spades and you have to be BFFs now. They're such a good band! I imagine you'll say the same thing as... Yeah, I bet I will. There's a very good reason for it. It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words... I'm kidding, Puerto Rican. That wasn't the drama. October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2? The computer only held data for 1 photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Yeah, old bag. Whole world is in the drama. Order, order. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? I just explained what I mean. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not one, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Eh? You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! Oh, she's so disgusting. Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Uh-oh, serious mode. Whippersnapper. Edgy hates her so much you won't even cut. I know. I think it just gets worse. I think he gets more and more triggered. I'm remembering this now. He really grows to hate her. Like, a lot. Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Oh, how convenient. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai. Yeah, I think that's an easy take for her. I don't imagine she has too many fans. Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. What the heck, Mrs. Old Bag? I see. Your testimony, please. Yeah, let's find out about this. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. I know. I was just thinking that same thing. In an actual court of law, a lot of these witnesses would be dismissed from court for unreliability. They might even face criminal charges if they were found to be knowingly lying. Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this. There's a shot. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Can we see the photo? I don't imagine she has it. Another job? That's right, I check all the people that passed by the main gate that day. I know. Me too, Rezzy. To be honest, witnesses are the stars of the series. They really are. They did such a good job at making all these characters so memorable. It's really good. I look closely at every one of the photos that security camera takes. Do you back up all the security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to, yes. Oh my gosh. But those computers are just so frustrating. She's terrible. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? I know! The only thing I can figure is she's one of those people that only has the job because they know somebody. And they got in by recommendation. That's it. She's an awful security guard. Oh, you can tell just by looking at their faces. For the most part. Oh my gosh! For the most part, this is a murder trial, Miss Old Bag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will's Powers' photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Well, but when the heck was in that photo you erased? A fanboy. A fanboy. Fanboy? Interesting. Still Samurai fanboys. Real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Objection! Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you. I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. Excuse me? Excuse me? The grate has been loose for a while. Mary did it! Mary Alley called it. She did it. Alright, little bit. Looks like the case is open and closed. I couldn't have done it without my trusty assistant, Detective Bit. Thank you, little bit. Mary Alley, it's prison time. Just straight up lying her this. I know. Like I said, she would not even have a leg to stand on. Nice going, little bit. Yeah, I mean, no one would really expect that. However, this would explain how this person knew about the injury. But we don't have a motive. It leads outside, and well, that's where they come in. Why have we not fixed this? Certainly the studio can afford to, like, put some more screws in or something, or, like, they're not that broke. What the heck? This is clearly a known problem. They come in through the drain? I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers. Kids? So on the photo that you erased, it was a boy. Probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order! Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. The kid is the murderer! She's doing a abysmal job as a security camera. She is. She needs to get fired. She needs to so get fired. She's already done like 3 things against her security guard duty. The kid might have witnessed the murder, yeah. Order in the court, I'll have a cheeseburger. I demand a cheeseburger. One was the steel samurai, dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him. Can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade? I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. Now, how do you know that, Judge? I mean, it's a prop, right? It isn't designed to be that heavy. Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick? What's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, they're already trying to unsuspect him. I mean, technically, yeah, he could have committed murder, just not in the way that we've been led to believe. Technically, the possibility is there. This court will take a 5-minute recess. 5 minutes? That's like enough time to step out of the courtroom and then turn around and step back in. That just might as well not even call a recess. You could pull a piece of gum out and chew on it in that amount of time. It's not enough time to do anything. The kid could have tried to beat up the bad guy and kill him. I had that same thought. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Get her out of the courtroom. Eject her from court. Clap her in irons. Get one of these bailiffs to do their job. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio! I was sleeping, honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in the security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. That's the first thing we've heard about the location of the costume. So someone would have had to have sneaked into the dressing room and taken the costume. Not only taken it, but changed somewhere there with Will sleeping. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone wanting to steal a Steel Samurai costume. I don't know why you couldn't. That thing's probably worth money. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick? What are we going to do? First, we play for more time. Phoenix is good at that. We'll start targeting someone else that could have conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right. But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I still stand by the fact that Mrs. Oldbag is a very, very high candidate for a suspect. Currently, she's the only one that could have realistically done this, with what we know. She saw the injury. She deleted a photo. She has access to the photos. And she was there. I think that's who we have to pin it on. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Yeah. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. I don't think the court's gonna really buy the fact that it was the kid. The court is already convinced that it wasn't kid. So if we try to go for the kid angle, they're not gonna buy it. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. We have to accuse Old Bag. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, we present the prosecution's thoughts on the matter. The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence. But there's still no one else that could have committed this crime. Hard disagree. Hard disagree, Edgeworth. I call for a verdict of guilty from the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Well, she wasn't aware it was evidence, so she wouldn't be in trouble for that. She should probably get fired though, because she's not doing her job right. Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. Doesn't she do tamper? Well, she didn't know there was... Did she know there was a murder at that point? Could be criminal negligence, yeah. She said her shift ended at 5, right? That's when the murder was found. I don't know when she said her shift ended. So maybe criminal negligence, or, you know, I guess it depends. There is another person who could have committed this crime. It's one no one has thought to think of, except me. Me as in Phoenix. Mary Alley, no! What are you doing? Why would you do that? Are you okay? Let us hear what you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you'll be penalized. Well, that's enough for me to do this right here. Although I'm fairly confident in my logic here. A little scar, or just like a cut that's gonna heal? Right. Great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? I mean... So let's think about this. We are assuming that Old Bag is telling the truth about what was in this photo. That it was the schoolboy. We can't even verify that. But it's not the schoolboy. Technically, she could be covering up for the assistant girl, but she doesn't like the assistant girl, supposedly. I mean, I have to say that it's got to be the security lady. That seems to make the most sense, because... Alright, I mean, technically they could be accomplices, but I'm gonna go for the security lady. It was the security lady, Wendy Old Bag. Who? The steel samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. Old Bag also did say that the assistant did not see the accident. I forgot that. I forgot to mention that. That means whoever was in the suit knew about the morning's injuries. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There's only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Old Bag. Old Bag going to jail. Old Bag going in the old slammer. What? Whippersnapper? Order, order. Is this true, Old Bag? Old Bag? That's Miss Old Bag to you. Miss Old Bag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the steel samurai costume. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the steel samurai costume? Judge, are you serious? Because she knew about the security camera. She would absolutely know about it. Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here, Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. Oh my gosh, Phoenix. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, he's done with her. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna lose this case, but at least she's out of my hair. Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. Well, I mean, we need to press further, right? The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Old Bag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. There we go. Now we're talking about motives. It's relevant again. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler, though. As you said, 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could finish my old man in 10 seconds tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed. Then, let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed the murder? This is it. He had no way to get in.
Take that!
The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The windbag. Speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on 1 second. If my client was the one in this situation, the judge would be instantaneously wanting to end the trial, saying that's enough evidence. But the prosecution has no objections. Freaking old bag can't clarify anything or clear her name, and I've just 100% created a situation where old bag is very likely the killer. And he's like, we gotta continue another day. We gotta have one more day. Freaking judge, what the heck? That is insane. That is insane to me. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness. Miss Wendy? Miss Wendy Oldbag. Exactly. That's what I was saying. The prosecution doesn't have any objections. There's literally no reason to assume it wasn't her. She can't defend herself. She has nothing to say. Her silence is an admission of guilt. That's how that should be interpreted in any other situation. She doesn't even have an excuse. Something old bag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. I am 2 seconds. Okay. I was about to say I'm 2 seconds from stepping into this game and slapping the judge, and then stepping out. But it's not over, apparently. I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? The windbag wants to talk. Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By whom? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? That's very interesting. I'll testify. That's so interesting. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. She talks so much! She's the only witness we've had this entire court proceeding. Thus far, she's the only one. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Excuse me? Yeah, at this point, she would be ejected from the courtroom. She has lied and been so vague so much. They said they had nothing to do with it. See? They told me just to pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag! This is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. That is not true. That is absolutely not true. You don't even do your job right. No. This isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. The power of the old bag. Do you think when her name was still old bag? That's a really good... Well, she's... Okay, so here's the thing. Like we saw earlier, she's married. So she got that last name, presumably, from her husband. So there's a Mr. Old Bag running around somewhere. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Mr. Old Bag! This is a huge development, though. This is huge. So you were told not to talk. That's right, by the studio and the TV bigwigs, no less. Why didn't I hear about this? Well, she's said this like 3 times. Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. Okay, who were these people? Oh my gosh, you said the exact same thing as me. What the heck? That's insane. That's freaking insane. Well, the director and the producer, for starters. Old Bag caused a ruckus all on her own that Edgeworth can't even play his games. I know. Old Bag has officially one-upped Edgeworth. Officially. The director and the producer, okay? The director? You should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course! Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. Okay, so the director saw it happen. He joined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that. The producer still could have learned about the injury. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. There it is. There's the Studio 2 I knew was gonna come up. I mean, it's probably obvious, but... Studio 2? It was what do you... I'm not even gonna ask, Venus. I'm not even gonna ask. Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. It's case 3 and I'm already getting flabbergasted at Phoenix's poor memory. It's crazy to think that all these people were there compared to what we were told. I know! That's why I was saying this is like a huge development. I don't remember any of this. And it makes sense that we didn't hear about it because, you know, no one else that would have been there is here at the courtroom / alive. So it could have been covered up until now. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... No, let's keep going. Yeah, we didn't even finish. Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side. Oh my gosh, that's bribery! That's literal bribery. So you got your bonus and you still talked. That's all my question I have to ask. I'll just keep going. No harm in case. Exactly. I'm 100%ing this playthrough. Wait, that was it? Why did it put me at the beginning? I'm gonna save because I don't like why it's asking me. I don't like that it's asking me if I'm gonna keep asking questions. I'm a little paranoid. So they were actually in the studio. Yes, the whole day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came. I'll kill this woman, I swear it. Oh, he's so mad. I feel sorry for Edgeworth, almost. She really left him hanging on this one. He's so mad! Them? Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. Wait a second. We already saw this. Hold on. Did I get turned around? Of course, it's the really long one. Alright. I think we're gonna let it go. Wait a second, wait a second. Let me think about this one more time. I don't think there's anything I can really use. I mean, it's so vague. There's nothing that I can really attach to any of the evidence. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can really do. Alright. Your Honor, we have learned that there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and, some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. Oh no, a little bit! I'm pretty sure it's about to end! The game lets you go down a route that is wrong, but it doesn't tell you. Yeah, I just kind of wasted my time. For acknowledges defense's point. Stay awake a little bit, a little longer. Prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just told of. Oh, he's just been angry this whole time. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned. Alright. Now we just gotta get past this part, and it should be over. Probably. Or, I don't know if it'll populate a save screen. It's still pretty early in the day, so Phoenix is probably going to investigate some more. So actually, I think this is probably where we have to stop. Alright, there we go. We got through the court case for the day.